Merlin and Will teleport to the area where Lloyd is, and Merlin feels dizzy because Will has designed the teleportation potion just for himself. As soon as she calms down, she uses the search spell to detect the location of the ship and shares it with Will. He drinks another bottle of the teleportation juice to reach their location. Meanwhile, Lloyd and his friends are still locked in their position because of the chimera. Silica tries blowing it out of the ship with her wind magic, but it blocks and deflects her attack with its wings. As everyone wonders what should they do in this situation, Lloyd gets an idea. He tells everyone to stick to the ship's walls and then asks them to put their weapons back in storage because he is going to release his gravity magic that is stabilizing the ship. Everyone listens to him and puts their weapons in storage, and then Lloyd stops his gravity magic, causing the ship to tilt to one side. The chimera falls to the bottom, unable to reach them, and everyone quickly runs outside using this chance. Lloyd is the last one to leave, and the chimera breathes fire at him, but he blocks it using a barrier before joining his friends outside. He then asks Syrian to create an ice block for them to stand on, but just then, the chimera comes out of the ship and destroys the ice block with its fire breath. Lloyd grabs Silica and Yui as he commands everyone to jump, and they decide to follow his reckless orders because they don't have any other choice. Everyone jumps out of the ship and Lloyd tells Syrian to create an ice block now. He obliges, and once everyone lands on the ice block, Silica pulls out her staff, recalling how she saved Syrian from falling to death earlier. She asks Lloyd to amplify her magic, and he tells her to wait for the right moment because if she is too early, they will all die. Silica waits for the right chance, and just as they reach close enough to the surface, Lloyd tells her to use the wind spell. Silica manages to slow down the fall of the ice block with her spell, buying everyone enough time to jump down to safety. Everyone thanks Silica for saving them, and she replies that it was only because of Lloyd. As Lloyd acts modest as always, Syrian begins to talk about how he always fought alone because he thought that other people would only drag him down. However, Lloyd changed his mind about that, and now he wonders just what kind of guy he is. Just then, the ship comes crashing down right on top of them, and they manage to get away from the crash course with just seconds to spare. The ship explodes as it hits the ground, and Claire begins to cry for the innocent monsters that were trapped inside it. However, the chimera is still alive, and as it comes out of the rubble, it suddenly grows in size and strength. Everyone is terrified of it, and Lloyd tells them to move to the forest because they will be safer there. At the same time, Merlin and Will teleport near them, and Merlin quickly locates Lloyd's group. She finds that they are hiding in the forest and talking about something, so she decides to get closer. Meanwhile, everyone is wondering what is the chimera and why is it chasing them. Lloyd thinks that it was Claire's ancient magic that awakened the Demon Lord's fragment, and it began looking for a body. It possessed Grist, but since that was not enough, it absorbed the monsters to make itself even more powerful. As for the reason it is following them, Lloyd believes that Grist's consciousness is still within the chimera, and he is still trying to capture Claire. Merlin and Will reach their location just then, and they hide in the bushes to listen to Lloyd's plan. Gagas suggests that they hide Claire with concealment magic, but Lloyd believes that the chimera won't stop following them. Syrian says that their only option is to kill it, but Claire doesn't want that. Everyone wonders if there is a way to save the monsters, and suddenly, Lloyd comes up with the idea to make Claire sing to the chimera again. He believes that if he boosts her power and she conveys her feelings to get the monsters out of the chimera, it can work. Syrian doesn't think that is a wise idea, but Lloyd is confident that it will work. Claire is happy that there is hope to turn the monsters back to normal, and she agrees to go with Lloyd's plan. However, just as they get ready to execute their plan, Merlin steps out and tells them to stop. Lloyd is shocked to see her, and Merlin tells him that he should stay away from ancient magic. He replies that he knows that, but Merlin tells him that he doesn't know shit. She says that ancient magic is dangerous, and anyone who gets involved with it has to pay the price. However, Lloyd tells her that Claire can use ancient magic, and with his support, she can save the day. Merlin is taken aback to see that her student has finally grown balls to speak back to her. Lloyd tells her that after he left her and met his friends, he realized that if he remains ignorant about his power, he will never grow stronger. He believes that he can clutch this scenario, and Merlin replies that she taught him never to be overconfident. Lloyd tells her that it is not overconfidence because now he knows exactly where he stands and how hard he has to work to grow stronger. Just then, the chimera arrives there, and Lloyd leads his friends to face it while Merlin just stands at her place. She tries to convince herself that Lloyd will only support Claire's ancient magic and never use it himself to bring about another tragedy. But deep down, she knows that she can't stop him forever. On the other hand, Lloyd uses his support magic to buff up Syrian, who attacks the Chimera with an icicle rain. As the monster gets distracted while trying to block it, Lloyd climbs on its shoulder and uses his staff as an antenna to channel Claire's song directly into the monster's body. As he amplifies and channels the song into the Chimera's body, Lloyd feels a strange sensation, but he powers through it. The ancient magic of the song starts affecting the Chimera, and a black hole opens above it. Merlin is stunned on seeing this because only she knows what it means, but Lloyd is not even aware of the black hole as he makes sure that Claire's song works. The Chimera starts glowing and disintegrating, and the monsters drop out of it one by one, but the black hole begins absorbing the rest. Lloyd realizes it too late, and as he is celebrating their success, he suddenly finds himself and Grist being sucked into the black hole. His friends are shocked by this, but Merlin realizes that it is backlash from the ancient magic that is pulling Lloyd towards it. Soon, Lloyd and Grist vanish into the black hole, and Lloyd doesn't even realize what is wrong until he notices Grist's body disappearing. He then begins to wonder where he is, and suddenly, he finds his own body floating around. As he questions what is going on, he hears a strange voice, telling him that his body and mind are being slowly ripped apart. Lloyd asks if this is because of the ancient magic, and the voice affirms. Everyone outside the black hole is also able to hear it, and Merlin recognizes the voice because it belongs to Sybil. Sybil tells Lloyd that ancient magic is just the leftover of the magic that was once used by the people of ancient times who transcended the limits of being human. They developed magic that could change the laws of reality itself, but in the long run, their power brought chaos and destruction. Sybil suddenly materializes in front of Lloyd, telling him that the ancient people realized the dangers of their power too, and before the world could be completely ruined, they banned the use of ancient magic. However, they knew that there would come a time when such powerful magic would be needed, and they created a method to allow rare people to be born with the ability to use ancient magic. And to prevent anyone else from using ancient magic, the ancient people cast a spell on the entire world that destroyed anyone other than the inheritors of ancient magic if they tried to cast it. Lloyd has heard that story before, and he recalls that there was one man who used ancient magic even though he did not inherit it. Sybil declares that it was he who used ancient magic against the Demon Lord. Lloyd is shocked to hear this, and Sybil says that he and his friends were able to push the Demon Lord to the brink of defeat after a very hard battle. However, they relaxed their guard as they saw themselves winning, and that was their biggest mistake. Realizing that he was going to lose anyway, the Demon Lord decided to blow himself up, destroying the nearby city as well as Sybil's party members. On seeing this, Sybil used the forbidden ancient magic to bring back everyone at the cost of his own life. This time, Lloyd used the ancient magic accidentally, and now he is being taken away. The ground under them suddenly starts to darken, and Lloyd sees his body sinking. He panics, and Sybil tells him that there is still a chance for him to return. Lloyd asks how can he do that, and Sybil tells him to listen to his heart. As soon as Lloyd touches his chest, he remembers his friends, and at the same time, they call out his name, showing him the way out of the black hole. Lloyd follows their voice to go outside, and Sybil vanishes with a smile on his face after having completed his final task. Lloyd falls out of the black hole just as the sun rises, and his friends hug him tightly. Merlin watches them from a distance and thanks Sybil for saving Lloyd with tears running down her face. Soon after that, Lloyd and his friends safely escort Claire to the capital. Everyone still finds it hard to process that Lloyd's teacher is none other than the great sage Merlin, but he remarks that she doesn't seem like a saint at all. Just then, Claire also comes there to talk to them, and Syrian follows her. He asks her to come to the side and then apologizes because he lost the bag she made for him in the battle earlier. Claire tells him that it is not a problem because she can always make another one for him, and Syrian turns red from embarrassment. After that, they have a meeting with the king, who praises them for their bravery and also rewards them handsomely for protecting Claire. As they are heading back from the meeting, the furry researcher Ryan suddenly appears behind them and begins sniffing Lloyd. He thinks that she is a pervert, but Ryan gets offended by this. She tells him that she was only sniffing him because his magic smells similar to Merlin, and no one has any idea what she is talking about. Merlin comes there and explains how Ryan can tell people apart by the scent of their magic. Well, no one is interested in the furry anymore, and Lloyd's party starts simping after Merlin because she is a legendary magician. Lloyd still doesn't get why everyone is hyping her up so much, and then Merlin approaches him, asking if he wants to return home now. Lloyd replies that he wants to continue adventuring and learning about all sorts of spells so that he can create even more spells and become more useful to his friends. Merlin is happy to hear that, and she heads back home with Will, realizing that the danger of Demon Lord's revival is still present, and they will need Lloyd's power in the future. On the other hand, Lloyd and his friends reach the mansion that the king rewarded them with, and they are excited to continue their adventures together.